You probably already know that the gold standard for dealing with a narcissist is to actually go no contact. But it's not always possible. You may have to co-parent with the narcissist. You may share the same workplace. They may be a family member, or you may have shared assets, in which case you can't cut off the ties completely. If you find yourself in one of those categories, don't worry, because even if you can't go zero contact, there are ways that you can protect your energy, set boundaries, and take control over the interactions with the narcissist. I'm Amanda Craven, a clinical hypnotherapist, life coach, psychologist, and published author. I've helped hundreds of women rise up from emotional trauma and narcissistic abuse, and today I'm going to help you take another step forwards in your journey by sharing strategies that will help you go low contact when you can't go no contact. After a quick look at the mindset shift you're going to need to make, I'm going to share some easy to implement strategies for low contact, and after that I'll reveal what to expect from the narcissist when they realise that you are getting strategic. So stay tuned so that you are fully informed, prepared and armed for this. The mindset shift you need to make is all about redefining control. Of course, you can't control the narcissist, you can't control what they do, you can't control what they say, but you absolutely can control how you respond to them. You need to remember that low contact is not just about creating physical distance between you, it's also about reducing your emotional exposure, controlling how much they're able to reach you on an emotional level. To help you do this, you could come up with a mantra, something that you repeat to yourself that reinforces this reminder. Something like, I am in control of how much access they have to me. Okay, so let's take a look at those essential strategies. The first point is all about limiting and minimizing communication. If you have to have in-person communication, if you have to meet up with them, make sure it's not in your home, it's not in their home, it's not at the office after hours. Do it somewhere public and keep it short. In all your communications, whether you are talking in that sort of situation or whether you are replying to a message or messaging them, keep it short, keep it simple, keep it factual. Using email and text over phone calls and in-person conversations is much better. And out of all that, email is probably your best bet. It gives you that thinking time rather than giving you the opportunity to have a knee-jerk reaction to something that they send you. So pressing pause, letting some time pass. Do not feel that you ever have to respond immediately. They might make it sound like an emergency, but 99% of the time it won't be. So give yourself some time, and if you decide that email is the only way you're prepared to communicate with them, let them know and stick to it. You might have heard of the grey rock method or grey rocking somebody. This just reinforces that idea of not getting carried away with small talk and starting to talk about yourself, talk about your emotions. In other words, starting to give them once more some of the supply that they crave and some of that information that will be taken down and used in evidence against you at some point in the future. So grey rocking means becoming quite uninteresting. You're not giving anything of yourself, just like a grey rock. There's nothing interesting, exciting or emotional about it. So you can be quite mechanical and robotic in your exchanges, and just stick to the facts. Just stick to the essential, really essential, that you decide is essential, not them. Bits of information that need to be exchanged, and keep it short and simple once more. Then we've got boundaries. Set and stick to clear, firm boundaries. We've already just spoken about one in terms of deciding what means of communication you are prepared to use. In that case, we said you were going to choose emails, and that was the only way you would communicate. So if they send you a WhatsApp or they send you a text, then you don't respond. Just if you need to give them some information, send an email, and eventually they will get the message. Give yourself plenty of time to think about the boundaries that are going to work for you. Write them down if that helps. And remember that as you are reinforcing your boundaries or setting them out, making them clear to the narcissist, don't fall into the jade trap. Remember that jade stands for justify. You don't have to justify your boundaries to the narcissist. Argue. You are not going to get into a discussion about them. They are not up for discussion. Defend. You're not going to defend them. You don't have to defend them. You are just going to communicate them. And E stands for explain. So you're not going to explain them. You don't owe the narcissist any explanation at all. And by giving yourself this thinking time and writing down your boundaries, it makes it easier for you to just say your boundaries in a simple sentence. For example, I'm not going to discuss anything that isn't directly about the children. Or, I'm not going to discuss anything of a personal nature in the workplace. If you have to co-parent with a narcissist, you are going to also have another mindset shift and accept that you will at best be able to parallel parent. You are not going to be able to work together effectively with a narcissist to raise and share the care of your children, unfortunately, but that's a fact. Make sure that you use an app, a family app. There are lots about, but they do tend to come and go, so I'm not going to recommend one in particular. Ask your lawyer if you have one, or have a look on the internet and check out the reviews. And this enables you and the narcissist to put all the messages into one platform, and then you can block them on every other means of communication, on WhatsApp, on text, on email, for example, if you're able to do that. Don't get drawn into triangulation when they try and involve somebody else. Make sure that you are respecting any court orders. Don't try and make exceptional arrangements with them because you have a training course and need extra childcare. Source that care from somewhere else. Because if you start bending the rules, then that leaves the door wide open for them to do the same, and they will make it extremely messy for you and for the children. You will need to work really hard at protecting your personal space and energy. So, as I've already said, you need to minimize any in-person contact you have with the narcissist. Again, as I said, you need to avoid sharing any personal information with them, even casually, because it will be used against you at some point, and you're already breaking one of your own boundaries by slipping into that sort of a conversation. Most importantly, surround yourself with supportive people you can trust. They will help you keep everything real, keep your grip on what a healthy relationship actually should look like, and keep you strong when you're having a little wobble. My Empowered Woman Collective is an online coaching community for women like you who want to be surrounded by people who are going to cheer them on from the sidelines and hold them when times get tough. If you want to take a look at it and consider joining me, the details are below. Now, once you start to strategize, the narcissist is not going to like it, so you need to be prepared for their reactions. Here are some of the things you can expect and therefore prepare for. Forewarned is forearmed. Expect hoovering to ramp up at this stage. So this could be love bombing starting up again and causing that confusion. So you need to stick to your own boundaries. You need to talk to those healthy, supportive people who are going to help you stay straight. There could be other forms of emotional manipulation, the guilt tripping, for example. Again, instead of reacting to anything that the narcissist does or says in real time, talk it through with somebody and give yourself some time to filter through what they have done or said and remind yourself of what is real. There will be a likely upsurge in fake emergencies. If you have children together, then this will probably concern the children. Or it could concern the narcissist themselves. They may invent emergencies and medical emergencies in particular and ask you to go to the emergency room in order to help them with something that nobody else can help with. Again, you need to talk this through with somebody who has got a clear head and who can help you decide, if it is something to do with the children, what the best action to take is. Whether you need to call an emergency service yourself, whether you need to go to the hospital but accompanied by a trusted friend. Talking it through will keep you clear on the best tack to take. You also need to be prepared for rage and anger. They are going to be feeling that they are losing control, which is exactly what is happening, but this will trigger some unpleasant reactions from them. So you need to stay firm in your boundaries. If they have an explosion and shout and scream or use swear words, whether you are in person with them or on the phone, or if this is in writing, you need to say, I'm not continuing this conversation. We can resume when you've calmed down, and then you leave or you hang up. All of these reactions can create really strong emotional triggers for you. So be prepared. Make sure that you give yourself that time to pause and think before responding. Keep reading up and educating yourself on narcissistic behaviour so that you can easily recognise and call out to yourself whether it's manipulation, whether it's gaslighting, whether it's hoovering, and have a mantra, another mantra for yourself, something like, I refuse to play their game. I refuse to play this game. One of my clients talked about having really shaky legs when the narcissist in her life had his narcissistic explosions and rage. And this used to really throw her off kilter for a long time. And then together we reframed the shaking legs as a cue for her to press her feet down into the ground and stand or sit up taller. So it was a cue to remind her of her inner strength. And by noticing those shaky legs, pressing her feet down, it helped her get over the moment more quickly and remind herself of how empowered she actually was now. So if something like that is happening for you, some sort of physical response to their rage, try reframing it as a cue for you to recognize and feel your own strength. As I said right at the beginning, this is not just about that physical distance. It's about emotionally detaching yourself from the narcissist. So remind yourself of that. And remember that there is no point in continuing to seek their validation. You've probably been doing that for years, if not decades. Accept that they are never going to see you as the good guy. They are never going to recognize that you are a great parent, a great person, a successful person, a strong woman. That is not going to happen. So by accepting that now, you will stop seeking their approval in your own behaviour. So that will be a great help. Something else that will help is seeing all your interactions as business transactions. Remove the emotions and stick to what needs to be transferred between you in terms of information, and that's it. Now that you are starting to conserve some of your precious energy, you can redirect that towards your own healing and growth. The narcissist is getting less and less of your attention, so now turn it on yourself. Switch it around and use that energy for the good of you. I hope these strategies have helped you. Let me know in the comments, and until next time, take great care of you.